As COVID restrictions have laxed around the world, more people are traveling this summer, and that means prices will remain high. With us now is Travelzoo's Senior Communications Manager, Gabe Saglie. Gabe, good morning. It's kind of a tricky spot to be in because prices are going up, inflation is hitting people, but people are still going to travel, in your opinion, right?
Well, yeah, and all those signs point to the fact that, we're going to keep traveling throughout the summer season, Sal. What we saw in spring break, what we saw over Memorial Day weekend, really a crystal ball as into what we expect over the next several months. We don't see prices softening until about mid to late September. And that's driven primarily by this demand that we've been talking about for months now. And we started off the year sort of anticipating these sort of monthly bump ups in pricing, but even those projections have been shattered because the demand has just considerably surged beyond those expectations. So if you're still looking to book airfare, keep in mind that by the end of June, it'll be another 10% higher than it was last month. And then that levels off probably for the most part all the way through mid to late September.
So, Gabe, how far should we look ahead? If I want to think about maybe, if I were thinking about traveling to see my family, now they live here, but let's just say I had family back east for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Is now the time to be booking that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, generally, 6 weeks is sort of a sweet spot where you can dependably book airfare and expect it not to drop off after you bought it. Right now, I think that's been stretched even longer. We're not expecting pricing to really drop until the very end of the summer season, very early fall. So if you're looking to book airfare, now would be the time to do it. We're seeing very tight demand for domestic routes, and so these cross-country flights are in the 1,000+ category around some of the more popular traveling weeks of the summer season, and that's getting a lot of folks looking beyond the borders, looking at Mexico, the Caribbean, Europe, even for last-minute summer travel planners. Is starting to come into focus because the airfare to these destinations often rivals, or in some cases is even below, what we're seeing on very popular domestic routes.
Is it still a good time to try and get out to Europe? Because I know that a lot of people are staying local. They want to maybe not travel so far, maybe travel in the United States, but maybe there's a bargain to be had in Europe still?
Well, listen, travel throughout Europe is very hot right now. We're looking at some of these major hubs like London and Dublin and Stockholm and Amsterdam. We're seeing videos and pictures of these very long lines of people checking into these airports. So they're dealing with some staffing concerns out there, and the volume is certainly up among Europeans traveling across the continent, and Americans being lured by some pretty aggressive airfare sales and vacation packages that are in market right now, negotiated with airfare that was locked down before some of these rising fuel prices. So, that's creating all of a sudden some interest in Europe. Germany just waived its all entry requirements through the summer season, through September, for Americans entering. Italy just waived all its entry requirements for Americans as of June as well. So they're hungry for the U.S. dollar. They're making it that much easier to get out there now, and we're seeing some very competitive pricing. I'm not saying it's cheap, Sal, but when you compare it to what we're seeing on the domestic front, it's comparable. And a lot of folks who, again, have that comfort level around traveling overseas are looking at some of these destinations like Europe very seriously.
All right, real quick answer here. Is my best bet this summer just to stay local, maybe drive to Yellowstone, something like that, or get on a plane and go halfway across the world?
If you stay local, Sal, we're seeing that people are not canceling road trips. Those are still going to dominate summer. We're shortening our distances that we're traveling. So I think in-state travel throughout California will be very big. So if you've got a favorite California destination, get on that ASAP. If you want to fly, the best value currently is south of the border. Mexico is the #1 term that people are searching for on our website. So clearly a lot of interest for destinations south of the border now because you're still getting some bang for the buck, even if you're planning last minute.
Margaritas in Cabo sounds good to me, Gabe. Thank you very much
for
right? All right, thank you for joining us. Gabe Saglie from Travelzoo.